I'm Brenda. I'm the Program Manager for Digital Media, Visual Arts and Music. I come from an industry background, so I worked as a graphic designer, art director for 20 years in the industry, and I worked in Wellington, Auckland and in England and in Holland. So at the end, ironically, in the global financial crisis, I decided that it was time to change tact and give back. I mean, I know that's a cliche, but actually it's something I felt quite strongly about, and I wanted to give back to all of the wonderful people that had helped me with my career, and thought it was time to give back to young people coming into the design industry. And I'm passionate about it as a discipline. And so I taught out at Whitireia in Pororua initially. So I was a senior lecturer there up until 2 years ago, where I applied for this role as program manager. Favourite part about teaching is trying to work out the best way to verbalise how to do something that essentially is tacit knowledge, which means you have to learn by doing. And it can be really difficult to articulate how you do that when it's like riding a bicycle. You can't actually explain how you do it, but you just do it, and you do it very well. So when you're learning a new skill, how do you teach a student, move that from there to there, and it will give the relationship of the space in a piece of design will change, positive, negative space, all that sort of thing. So how do you explain that? How do you enable students to have the confidence to just try and make mistakes, learn from their mistakes? That is definitely one of the most rewarding things about teaching. We have diploma and degree programs and a graduate diploma, which is a level 7 qualification. The ethos of the learning through those courses is very much a crossover between physical and digital. So the idea of the hand in the process, in the design process, and by the hand I mean visual arts processes, so printmaking, photography, using that to generate imagery or to generate content, and then being able to shift that into the digital realm, and then looking at how communications are working, what the audience is looking for, and making it relevant for the audience. Anybody that is curious, that has a love of solving problems, has a love of anything visual, making, creating. So we've got everybody from school leavers to mature students to Māori and Pacific Island. We have a very high international cohort that come in through digital media. It's a sought after profession all around the world. We have a really strong whānau ethos, and that we wrap around the students. They gain confidence quite quickly. They are confronted often because they're asked to do things or try things that they might not have wanted to do, or feel uncomfortable about, experimenting more than one idea. Lots of, this idea of iterations, which means doing more than one. That can be confronting for them, but once you kind of get them over these humps, they start to fly. That's what you want. Last year, there were 3 graduates that got back in touch with me. One of them got a job in Wellington in a design studio for a product company, and she won the job from a group of about 30 applicants. She did really well, and they were university graduates as well. So she got that job. Another woman, she was a mature student. She is working for a government department, doing all of their internal communications, which is brilliant. And another, she was an international student, went up to the Waikato and is working for the city council in that area. And again, they all won these roles out of many job applicants. So enormously proud of them. And we've also had students placed at Weta workshops. When we see people that are really showing promise, we will get in behind them and support them, into industry. Flexibility, curiosity. Ultimately, it comes down to your portfolio and your personality. People want to work with people that they get along well with. And a lot of New Zealand companies are small enterprises, so they're small teams. So they need the synergies of the team to work for their client base. That's a very important thing. So it's about developing not only your design skills, but it's also the soft skills that go with that. They're quite important. How you communicate, how confident you are, whether you're open to throwing your ideas out there. Well, the design, they can go into a studio setting, so i.e. employment, but designers also should be open to the idea in the in-between times that you freelance. And I myself have done that. I've had 3 instances through my career where I found myself out of work, but you have to pick yourself up and you start looking for work. And actually, I've in one instance ended up setting up a business with other designers, groups of designers, and doing extremely well. So that's what I mean by flexibility. It's being open to this idea of, yes, getting a job in the traditional sense, but also needing the skills to be able to be self-employed and what that looks like. Creativity is such a great, enriching area to be involved in. It can take you through your life, your career in such a positive way, because you're making a difference, and you're not sitting in an office. You'll never be bored. Every day is a different day. It's taken me through my career. I mean, I've gone from industry into education. I've been self-employed. Study options. I've just finished a PhD looking at creativity in international students. I mean, the opportunities are massive. You've just got to go and find them.